All right, hello class. This is Crossin with Chris, and we are going to work through some problems from Hawks to you saw the introduction video. I actually did a problem on this type of thing on paper, which I vastly prefer, but I know a lot of you are just going to want to be on the computer, so and you have to put everything in the computer in the right format or else, it's software, it gets mad at you. So first, let's talk about the math a little bit. There's this little symbol right there. Chris, can you tell me what that means?
That means the complement of A or not A.
The complement of A or not A. And when I did it on paper, I wrote all this stuff down and I crossed out the stuff that we didn't want because we want not this. So not laughed, although laughed is good. So I don't know why you don't want that. But, and one of the things that I like to do, because I hate typing and writing and anything like that, I just like to be outside and play all the time, is you can copy and paste in Hawks, which is something that people don't think, and it makes you kind of not miss as many things. And then since it's the complement, what should we do next, do you think, Chris?
We should take out each of the letters.
Yeah, and since I can't, I'm going to do the A first because, well, it's there. So let's get rid of the A and the extra comma, and then I'm going to spell laughed because otherwise I'll mess up. So L and the extra comma. A I already got rid of. U. T looks funny. Does T look funny to you?
It does look funny.
I'm getting rid of the extra comma. L-A-U-G-H. Are G and H next to each other? Yes! Score! One less thing we have to type, but make sure you get rid of just the right number of commas. G-H-E-D. Oh, and E and D are next to each other too. This one's a nice word. I'm glad they put this one in there. Okay, so we got rid of the right commas, and now we have everything in the alphabet, but not the letters in laughed. So that's what complement means, is not that stuff. And I drew pictures in the welcome video for this. And now I'm going to say submit answer and see what happens. We have all the stuff in the universe except for that. So that's the not, that's the complement. Submit answer. Oh, it tells me that it's an incorrect format. So, it asks me to put the stuff in A complement. An A complement is a set. So what do I need when it's a set, Chris?
The brackets.
The bracket things, which we're not writing, but I always tell people, like, you don't have to write them perfectly, but since we're typing, whatever. Now, it is kind of a pain to enter the brackets, and I'll tell you that. Okay, I gotta say okay. And then it gives you another chance. If you just had some kind of formatting answer, it gives you another chance. When you type in the bracket somewhere, it actually gives you both brackets, and that's kind of annoying. So I deleted that. But what they have is this keypad thing. Where you can get the brackets, and that goes there, but then the things aren't in it. So I'm going to try to copy and paste. Oops, now it's gone. So I'm going to do Control X and make it go away. I'm going to put the brackets in, and then I'm going to do Control V and put my stuff back in. And now we have the brackets, and the brackets say the set that contains all this stuff, which is the alphabet, except not the letters in laughed, because it says complement, which means not laughed. So the alphabet minus laughter, which sounds very sad to me. So let's submit answer and see what it says. This time it says that we are well done. So yeah, a little bit quirky because it's online software. We're going to do a few more problems that are commonly missed, and that should hopefully help you get through your first or your second unit of the homework. All right. All right, so this next one is about the cardinal number or cardinality of a set, which in this book is represented by this X with a bar, which I can kind of point at here. Whoop, there's my finger right there. Boom, X, not a bar, with those things that we know of as absolute value signs, which they also use in the thing later. So this is a notation nightmare, basically. And this may well be like kind of the worst section for a lot of people because there's just so much notation. But I will tell you that I strongly encourage you to take notes on all the notation like it's vocabulary, because it is vocabulary, and just write down what all this stuff means and have it like sitting right next to you while you work. Okay, so I want to first write down this thing and talk about cardinality. So I don't like that they're using X because everybody thinks of that in algebra, but if it's a capital number, it usually notates a set. And this says X is, and then this says the set. Whenever you have those curly brackets, which I talked about earlier, don't have to be pretty because these certainly aren't, that means the set. And then this says of elements or whatever, such that those elements represented by any old variable, it's a lowercase letter, is just a variable. So any element A such that A is an element of, okay, and then we've got this funky thing that I can't type the way they did, but, and I think I'm going to pause for just a second. So I've added in some of the stuff that I had said earlier. The brackets mean, that means is, but we all know equals equals is. The brackets mean the set of elements A such that A is an element of, and then we're going to write that funky N, which I can't write the way they wrote it. I'm going to write it the way I usually write it. They have a double here, so I'll just do that. There, N. N, and Chris, do you know what N is?
Doesn't N mean natural numbers?
N is natural numbers, and a lot of people confuse these, which is why when you're reading that learn section and it tells you anything that's a weird, funky symbol, you take notes. Have a notebook of just, whoops, funky symbols that happen in this class and write them down. You can have that for your tests, and I would have it next to you all the time because you're not going to remember all this stuff. Like, I remember it because I've been studying math since before you were born, but like, there's no reason for you to remember these. Just write them on a note card. Okay, so we've got A such that A is an element of all natural numbers, which I'm going to write down really quick. Okay, so natural numbers is the numbers we all like kind of knew in kindergarten that come naturally. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, blah, blah, blah. So that's natural numbers. I used green because green is nature. Okay, so we've gotten through N, and then we have a comma. And then we have A, our variable or element or whatever, is odd. Is odd. So if A is odd, I'm going to get a red pen, then we know that A is, of the ones here, what do we have?
1 and 3.
1 and 3. So A is odd, which means it's not even. So get rid of these guys, and we're going to keep getting rid of stuff down there. Okay, whew. And is there another comma? All these commas. I'm even going to fit in the page, and I hope I fit. Okay, this is where it's just too much notation. The absolute value of A is less than, I'm barely fitting, 8. Okay, so that was a lot of stuff, and absolute value doesn't even matter in this case. Natural numbers are all positive anyway, so whatever. All right, so we need natural numbers that are odd and less than 8. So instead of 2, 4, 6, 8, who do we appreciate? We're going to do odd ones. So we have 1, and then 3. Chris, tell me when to stop. And then 5, and then 7. Oh, stop. Okay, because we have less than 8, which 8 wouldn't be there anyway because it's even, and less than, not less than or equal to, but less than. So I'm going to pretend like that guy's not there and make it part of my bracket. There, haha. So we have 1, 3, 5, 7, but this is asking us for cardinality. And what does cardinality mean? The number of elements in the set, or like the size of the set or something like that. So let's bring this down. So yeah, this one I think messes people up because of the whole cardinality thing. You do all this stuff and there was so much like symbols to get through, so many symbols to get through, and we get to here and we have 1, 3, 5, 7, and I bet you half the people that do this the first time like type in the 1, 3, 5, 7. But since it's just cardinality, which in this book is denoted by these things, which is, I admit, that's confusing. But if it's a letter in absolute value signs, it means letter. And in this book, if it's a capital letter, lowercase in that means absolute value. Uppercase letter in this, which is an X is really hard, means the cardinality. So I don't like that notation. I like the notation in other books better. But most of this book I like better, obviously. I wouldn't have picked it. Okay, so the cardinality of this set is the number of elements in the set. 1, 2, 3, 4 elements. So it equals 4. So all we have to do in here is say 4, and it's going to say correct. And it automatically made my thing go away anyway. Submit. It should have said correct. Why is it not saying correct? Huh. Well, it's all right. We're going to do 2 more problems, and this is one of the ones that is frequently missed from last semester, so that's the reason I'm choosing to talk about it. It asks us use the given sentence or sets to answer, is P equal to Q? So set P, set Q, why or why not? Set P is Earth, Mars, Saturn, Jupiter, Neptune, Venus, and set Q is the set notation thing again, X, such that X is a planet in our solar system. And I'm sitting here going, I don't know what the planets in the solar system are. So I'm going to Google it before I even read my things, because I certainly don't remember that. Let's Google. All right, apparently Chris remembered and I didn't, so I wrote them all down. Or I didn't write them all down. I Googled them and now I'm going to write them down. Okay, so I looked them up and I have the two sets. And without even looking at what they are, to see if something's equal, they first have to have the same number of elements. And set Q has more elements. And so if they don't have the same number of elements and the same exact elements, then they are not equal. So I'm going to move this down and I'm going to say, okay, so there's two choices. No, because P has more elements than Q, and no, because P has fewer elements than Q. P had fewer elements than Q. So no, because P has fewer elements than Q. And even if they were not, even if they had the same number of elements and they weren't the same elements, they certainly wouldn't be equal sets. So that one's good. Now we're going to move on to the next and last most commonly missed problem for this week. All right, this is the last problem for this unit that I'm going to cover, unless you all ask me to cover more, which of course I will. All right, so B is the set of two-digit odd numbers less than 37. Okay, two digits. I remember turning 10 and thinking it was so cool that I had two digits in my birth, and now I'm totally over it. Okay, so it's a set. So what do we need to do when it's a set? This is the most common thing that's messed up. What do we need to do because it's a set? Right, the brackets, which are over here off screen, but I'm putting the brackets in the keypad thing. Okay, brackets. Okay, two digits. So 10 is really cool. Is 10 going to work for two-digit odd numbers less than 37 that do not contain a digit 1? Chris, what do you think? No, because why?
Because it contains the number 1.
Yes, it contains the number 1, and it's not even odd, so I double messed up on 10. So forget 10. Okay, so nothing in the teens because it's going to have the digit 1. What about 20? That doesn't have a 1.
That's even.
Oh, but it's even. Okay, you're right. All right, so let's see. 21. All right. And then 23 is good. Oh, no, wait. 21 has a 1. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this actually isn't going to be too many things, but it's kind of, you just have to think. You really, and this is one of those places where it's really nice to have a study buddy, because like, it's just, I would strongly encourage you guys to like Zoom together and work together on your homework. You can't do that on tests, obviously, but like on a homework. Okay, so 23, 25, 27, 29. This is kind of tedious, but whatever. What's next? Yeah, I wanted to do 31. And if we were working on this together, one of us would have caught it, right? So 33, 35, and then it says less than 37. It doesn't say less than or equal to, it says less than. So we're done. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, and it doesn't say cardinality, so it does actually ask for the set, so we need the brackets and we need stuff like that. And I'm going to say submit answer, and off screen it tells me that I'm right. And this is all we really needed to, this are the most common problems that were missed for this unit in 2.1, so I hope this helps you. Let me know if you have any questions, put them on the discussion board, post screenshots. All right, thanks, take care.